Easter eggs! I just love them. Finding hidden stuff in video games is always fun to me. And with all the thousands of Easter eggs out there, it would have been impossible to make just one list about them. So as a continuation for my previous list of 25 interesting Easter eggs, I give you 25 more interesting Easter eggs in video games. Just like the previous version of this list, this isn't a countdown. I won't be ranking these Easter eggs according to how interesting they are. This is just a compilation. But much like the previous list, the number 25 Easter egg is going to be quite a big one. But what is it? You'll have to wait and see. Some Easter eggs you might already know of, and others might be totally new to you. But either way, I hope you enjoy the ride. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. 25 more interesting Easter eggs is a go! To kickstart the list, we have an Easter egg that connects the two most popular games of 2011. Sorry guys, but unfortunately you two didn't get enough love that year. But if you were thinking about Skyrim and Minecraft, you're correct. At the top of the Throne of the World mountain in Skyrim, there's an Easter egg hidden known as the Notched Pickaxe. It's simply a pickaxe with a few special attributes, but what's the big deal? In case you don't know, Marcus Persson is the creator of Minecraft, but most people know him as Notch. And even if you haven't played Minecraft, you probably know that the primary tool you use in the game is a pickaxe. Now, put 2 and 2 together. But there's also an interesting backstory behind this Easter egg. Before Skyrim was released, Bethesda actually ran a lawsuit against Notch after they found out that Notch's next game was to be called Scrolls. But as it turns out, Skyrim's creator Todd Howard is friends with Notch, and thus decided to include this little shout out to show that he has no hard feelings towards Notch. An interesting story of friendship that culminates in an interesting Easter egg. An Easter egg that just so happens to be at the top of the tallest mountain in the game. You've already seen this Easter egg in my previous videos, but I think it's about time I actually explain what it is. In the 6th Assassin's Tomb in Assassin's Creed 2, there's a lever you have to pull in order to gain access to the rest of the dungeon. After you do that, you have to stand in a specific spot and look directly into the water for about 30 seconds, and you'll finally see Cthulhu, a giant squid, or octopus, or whatever it is swimming right in front of you. Weird, huh? It's a gigantic cephalopod that just hangs around in a dark dungeon waiting for someone to jump into the water to eat. Nah, just kidding, it doesn't eat you. Shut up. If you want to see a man get eaten by a vicious animal, play Scarface, the world is yours. And that's just it. Not much else. But hey, octopuses are cool. And if you don't agree that octopuses are cool, they will slap you with their tentacles. If you're not familiar with the game Perfect Dark for the Nintendo 64, it's essentially the spiritual successor of GoldenEye, involving espionage, shooting people, dangerous missions, cheese, and wait a second, cheese? Yep, in every level of the game there's a hidden cheese wedge, just laying there incredibly well hidden. And they're not just well hidden. Some of them actually appear if you complete specific challenges, like not getting spotted or completing the first part of the stage without taking damage and stuff like that. Now, question is, do these serve any purpose? Can you collect them? Do you gain anything from finding them? Not at all! Despite this being pretty much useless, you can't deny it's an interesting discovery. And because I can't think of a way to end this segment, I'm just gonna throw this in.
Cheese for everyone!
Exactly. Chrono Trigger is well known for two things. For being one of the greatest RPGs ever made, and for having plenty of alternate endings. Though most of the endings can only be accessed if you beat Lavos in the New Game Plus, and as far as video game endings go, most of them aren't really that interesting. But there is one hidden ending in particular that has gained the attention and love of many people. And if you've played Chrono Trigger, you probably know what I'm talking about. The craziest hidden ending in the game can be seen if you start the New Game Plus and go directly to the final battle against Lavos. And after you beat him, you will be sent to the End of Time, a dimension inhabited by the developers of the game. Yep, most of the people who made the game possible are all there. And they all have interesting stuff to talk about, ranging from simply congratulating you, to talking about sports teams, to characters breaking the fourth wall, and giving hints about Chrono Trigger 2. But the best stuff can be found in the Dream Team room, in which you are greeted by the very people who created the game: Akira Toriyama, Nobuo Uematsu, Hironobu Sakaguchi, and others. And after you hear what every character has to say, you become a member of the Dream Team. Yeah! I get to hang out with the creators of the game now! This is the most awesome thing ever! Wait, what? Ah, oh, god damn it! My dreams are broken now. You've previously seen Easter eggs that are very well hidden. But how about Easter eggs that are actually hidden in plain sight? I'm sure you all remember Alice, the second-ranked assassin from No More Heroes 2, who is introduced to us just sitting in front of a fire, burning pictures. But wait, what are those pictures? Looks like there's something there. Aha! I see. Those photos reveal some really interesting background information about Alice, just hiding there in plain sight, waiting for someone to zoom into them. There are not many photographs, but from what we can gather, apparently Alice was married and had a child. Or those people are other members of her family. And she was also close friends with Margaret. Usually, Suda51's games don't have many Easter eggs, but the ones that are there are definitely interesting. There are Easter eggs that are very well hidden, and there are Easter eggs that are so well hidden that the only possible way to see them is by hacking the game or using cheats. For example, in a specific level in F.E.A.R. Perseus Mandate, there's an Easter egg at the bottom of an elevator shaft. Jumping directly to the bottom would kill you, but if you enable the God Mode cheat, you can survive the fall and explore the bottom. Look around for a bit and you will see a confession by the level designer. I suck at making maps. Nah, don't feel bad, man. The level's not so bad. Could have been better though. Simple, yet interesting Easter egg, like a lot of Easter eggs out there. And remember, to find Easter eggs, sometimes you must think outside the box. Or in this case, outside the level, elevator shaft, normal game mode, you know what, screw it. Shadow of the Colossus is a game that craves attention to detail. Even though the game is relatively minimalistic, there's an unbelievable amount of detail put into it. All you have to do is look around. For example, how many of you knew that there's a hidden climbing path at the side of the temple? In the large wall outside, there's a trail of moss you can climb on, and once you've climbed that, you must follow the rest of the long, very long grappling trail. Once you reach the top of the temple, you go up the stairs and enter Shadow of the Colossus' secret garden. Look at it. Isn't it wonderful? This might as well be the most beautiful looking area in the whole game! Now you might be wondering, why is there a hidden garden at the top of the temple? A virtually inaccessible garden nonetheless? Well, remember the ending of the game where Agro and Mono go to live with Baby Wonder in a hidden sanctuary? Indeed, that's the very same sanctuary that appears at the ending of the game. Just there, all yours to explore around. Now, if you own a copy of Shadow of the Colossus and love to look at beautiful scenery, this Easter egg is a must-see. That is, if you're willing to make a long and tedious climb to the top where any wrong movement will result in a long fall to your death. Asura's Wrath, like a lot of fantasy games, is divided into chapters, or episodes as the game calls them. And at the end of each episode there's an interlude. An interlude that serves to give insight of what other characters are doing, or flashbacks, or other information about the plot. And these interludes are basically a slideshow of illustrations with dialogue. So the interlude of episode 10 is pretty normal, being just about a group of soldiers having a discussion and... Wait a minute, what was that? Capcom, you sneaky bastards! That's right, episode 10's interlude features a cameo by AMATERASU from Okami. Just chilling in the back, watching Lord August kick some ass, with Isun on top of her head. I personally love when video games give shoutouts to other video games made by the same company, like the Mario Portraits from Ocarina of Time, and others made by Capcom. While this Easter egg is really simple, there's no denying it is simply cool. What is it with shooters and their strange obsession with weird or silly Easter eggs? Such is the case of this little Easter egg found at the end of Act 3 in Vanquish. And let's just say that, the moment you hear the music, you'll know what it's all about. Robot Dance Party. Just Robot Dance Party. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty amusing. And you know the best part? You can totally crash their party. But I have to say, these robots have questionable taste in music. Personally, I would have played something like this. Or this. Or even this.
Do the Harlem Shake.
Okay, maybe not that one. You wouldn't believe all the crazy stuff you can find in video games if you simply look behind you. Case in point, this Easter egg from Team Fortress 2. Even if you haven't played the game, you probably know that you start the game in the spawn room before heading out to battle. Most players just step outside without looking around the room. But in some maps, particularly Thunder Mountain, in the blue base, if you look right through the window behind you, you'll see a small circle of idle characters just standing there, being all idly and stuff. But what's interesting is what happens if you keep watching for a while. They eventually start performing Michael Jackson's Thriller dance! Well, just the arm moving part. This one in particular is apparently a favorite of Valve, hence why it's all over the place during the Halloween events. But it doesn't end here. In the second cycle of the map, behind the back window of the red spawn room, there's something different. Another group of idle characters having some kind of pool party or swimming lessons, with the spy as a teacher apparently. A few of them are actually back swimming, and they all have dead eyes. Ah! Get that away from me! If you're a savvy Team Fortress 2 player, chances are you've probably seen or heard of these Easter eggs before. But for those who haven't, well, here you go! By the way, it would have been impossible for me to end this segment without making the obvious joke, so here it goes. Remember that bizarre cow world from Diablo 2? What if I told you that its legacy of insanity is not over? Over a decade later, with the release of Diablo 3, you get to meet with the ghost of the Cow King from Diablo 2's Cow World. He sends you on a fetch quest to get some items, and after you get the items and combine them, a portal to a new world opens. A portal that leads to... Welcome to Whimsyshire, a secret pony world hidden in Diablo 3. Filled with colorful ponies, fluffy teddy bears, and happy clouds that want you dead. And there you have it, a colorful happy world for you to explore. And violently kill. But you must be asking yourself, why? There's one theory floating around that this place is a brony shoutout, because even before Diablo 3 was released, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic was already extremely popular, in and outside of the internet. So this could very possibly be a shout out to the fans. But then again, this is just theory. Either that or the folks at Blizzard are crazy.
My hatred is too low.
Probably both, actually. Nintendo has a thing for putting creepy stuff in their games. Even in their most innocent looking and child-friendly games like Pokemon. In a handful of games, namely Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver, if you go to the runes of Alph and tune in the Poké Radio to a certain frequency, you will hear this. This mysterious transmission is just that, a mysterious transmission. This particular version can be found in Gold, Silver, and Crystal. But as I said before, it can also be found in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But that's not all. It turns out, this transmission is actually broadcasted by the Unknown. If they weren't strange enough as they are, this mysterious transmission adds a lot more to their eeriness. What is it? Are they communicating with you? Are they talking with one another? Are they trying to tell you a secret? Or maybe a warning? Hopefully not the latter. There are recurring Easter eggs that appear several times throughout the game. And there are recurring Easter eggs that appear once in different games. And in some cases, the company that made the games have adopted these Easter eggs and turned them into a tradition. Such is the case of the HAL rooms from the Kirby games. HAL, Nintendo's associate that produced the Kirby and Super Smash Bros. Games, has included a secret room with their name in a handful of Kirby games. They are not exactly hard to find, but they require a lot of specific moves and tricks to access, such as jiggling around the screen and letting specific items disappear and whatnot. Plus, the game never tells you can find them, so yeah, pretty much a secret otherwise. And there you have them, the giant HAL name made of blocks. As far as I know, these rooms can be found in Kirby's Adventure, Kirby Superstar Ultra, and several in Kirby's Return to Dreamland. But this isn't the only recurring Easter egg we will be seeing on this list. In fact, with the release of the Mario RPGs, the games, as you would guess, have deviated a lot from their roots. But the developers know Mario can't stay too far away from his origins, hence why they included platforming sessions in Paper Mario, and something else. In some Mario RPGs, there is a secret room that allows you to turn into... oh yeah, 8-bit Mario. This Easter egg that I like to call the 8-bit room can be found in Super Mario RPG in Booster Tower if you walk behind the curtain in a specific room. In Boo's mansion from Paper Mario by entering a room and jumping into a pot. And in the X-Nut Fortress in Paper Mario The Thousand-Year Door by falling through a vent and going behind the curtain. This one in particular is pretty cool because it also turns your partners into 8-bit sprites. But of course this is temporary and you return back to normal the second you exit the room. I am not sure if the 8-bit room can be found in other games aside from the ones I've mentioned, but if they are, feel free to tell me. Nintendo has made a lot of weird, really weird things in the past. Fish that turn into platforms by spraying them with juice, a cutscene that looks like an LSD-infused nightmare, a whole level that is quite literally a drug trip, and then there's this one from Star Fox. In the Asteroid Belt level, there is a very elusive grayish-green asteroid that flies around at some point. If you decide to shoot this one particular asteroid, it will release a giant space bird. And if you thought that was WTF worthy enough, it gets better. If you decide to fly into the bird, for whatever reason, you'll be transported to a hidden level called Out of This Dimension. And it is insane. It's like a warped version of the Asteroid Belt, but with distorted planets with silly faces, trippy music, flying sheets of paper that fall into planes, and weird grey bars. Yeah, I don't get it either. But to top it all up, there's the boss of the area. A floating slot machine that, in order to beat it, you have to shoot its lever and get 3 sevens. Now, here's the kicker. If this Easter egg level turns out to be too much for your mind to handle, well, too bad, because you can never leave this place. Ever. If you beat the slot machine, that's it. End of the game. If you let the enemies kill you, you'll only restart the level. And so Fox was trapped forever into a parallel dimension with his teammates desperately fighting androids without his help. In other words, this is pretty much the bad ending of the game. Kind of a jerkish move, Nintendo. I think I'll go cry in a corner now.
Next time on 25 more interesting Easter eggs in video games. The final 10 Easter eggs remain. Can the Easter eggs get any crazier? Will Mediamaster be able to fix his laptop? What could possibly be the number 25 Easter egg? Find out next time on 25 more interesting Easter eggs in video games.